Can I show you guys this?
To say you said it anyway. I mean,
Why is the audio so crunchy?
that's how this whole thing started. I wish there was a way to like make people understand, because this all started because I was not down with Hamas killing a bunch of civilians.
Your Honor, I had to sue all these people because everyone hated that I was not okay with innocent civilians dying. Hamas literally did this to me. She's a vile fucking human being, Your Honor. She's a vile human being.
I thought that was a bad thing. And that's what started the entire, chasm between me and Hassan and the whole community, was that I was not cool with terrorists murdering civilians. And despite the fact that I said Israel's doing a genocide, ethnic cleansing, mass bombing campaigns, mass murdering civilians.
I mean, if you misrepresent what actually happened, yeah, you can have this delusional of a take. If you misrepresent the fact that people were actually upset that you spent so much time talking about how great and multicultural and diverse Israel is while they're actively conducting a genocide, and how excited you are to take your kids on vacation there to show everyone how wonderful it is. And you realized how bad that was. You realized it was so bad you went on TikTok and then apologized for it. And it gives mixed signals to be like, oh, no, Israel is doing a genocide. And then 2 seconds later saying, but I am going to go there and show you guys how beautiful it is. Like, so you know that they're doing a genocide, you just like don't care that they're doing one? Like, what? That's like almost worse. No one took issue with you saying innocent civilians shouldn't die. Or like, at the very least, none of the content creators you decided to like argue with said that about you. Like, it's so bizarre.
Starving populations with the blockades, doing humanitarian crimes against humanity, war crimes, despite me saying all of that. I said settlers are valid targets, right? Settlers are amongst the most disgusting, evil provocateurs on earth, which I said, by the way, years before October 7th, despite saying all of that stuff. And by the way, as a Israeli citizen married to an Israeli wife, having Israeli.
I'm pretty sure one of the biggest arguments was a conversation about settlers that Hassan had with Ethan. That's what brought up like the settler babies or whatever.
Family living in Israel. It's not that easy to sometimes say this stuff as it would be for someone else who's totally unaffiliated. But I said all this stuff, right? That you'd think that they would want to hear.
But again, like all of this, you can't just say the right things and then like your wife is like posting, oh my God, girl boss bombers. Yes. Look at the girl bosses killing civilians. Yes, girl boss. Like, what message do you think that sends to people? It feels like you're just saying the things that you think you need to say to get people to like you, but you don't actually care about those things and you don't actually mean those things. And that's why you're just so excited to go to Israel and show everyone how beautiful it is. If I say like, I hate people who speed. I hate speeding. People who drive in cars and go way too fast are a danger on the road. And then all I do is speed and like run stop signs. Like, it kind of doesn't matter what I'm saying. My actions matter more than that. If you're like, but I said all the right things I said. Israel is a meanie head, a meanie bobini. And then I also said all this other stuff. And I also have all these actions that speak louder than those words do. But like, but I said all the right things and you guys are still being so mean to me. It's like, what?
But it wasn't enough because I had a problem with Hamas. And then they start putting words in my mouth saying that I'm pro baby killing, or that I stuff that I never said and never would say, right?
No, we just say it's funny that there's clips like these.
The raider of Ramallah. That's what they call me.
You got mad that your wife said that she went on a raid in terrorist city Ramallah. Or sorry, that's what she said. And then you guys got mad that people said she's the raider of Ramallah. It's like, this is defecation, dude. This is defecation. You can't, just because she said she went to terrorist city Ramallah and she went on a raid that was beyond her like job description. She went on one for fun. How could you call her the raider of Ramallah? How could you do that? How?
The raider of Ramallah. That's what they call me.
No, whenever it comes to Ethan Klein, I always say defecation instead of defamation. It just, it's kind of like quoting Casey Tron. Every time people say fair use king, I have to correct them. Our queen Casey Tron spoke. It's free use king. Get it right.
If you read about me on Twitter or Reddit, wherever place you're reading about it, that's what you're going to see people say about me. That I'm a Zionist, genocidal monster.
No, people think that you spend too much of your time and effort defending Israel and defending Israel's actions. And in fact, it literally came up in the conversation that you had with Sam Cedar, where you were like, "Well, what were they supposed to do? What was Israel supposed to do? They have to defend themselves." Well, you think that they're not supposed to just carpet bomb the shit out of Gaza? They had to do something. It's like, what? That's a crazy thing to say. The fucking Arabs. Yeah, it's actually the fucking Arabs' fault. Sorry, my bad. You're right. You're right. You're right. Oh wait, I didn't see this kilotonics thing. Kilotonics has kind of been on a roll. By the way, another video Ethan will never watch. Kilotonics' video. Where is it? He dismantles Ethan Klein's claims about the legitimacy of his defamation lawsuit against iDubbbz. And Kilotonics posted on his podcast today, Ethan Klein claims rebroadcasting someone else's defamatory statements is not protected speech, adding that's how the law works. The reason Ethan says this is because he learned it from his time as a defendant in his own defamation case against Ryan Kavanaugh, when the court determined that he repeatedly broadcast previously retracted statements about Kavanaugh in an obvious attempt to get the viewer to accept them as truth. Yeah, I talked about this a couple days ago. Maybe it was yesterday, that Ryan Kavanaugh sued Ethan Klein for defamation because an ex-partner of Ryan Kavanaugh had said that he was running a Ponzi scheme, but then since retracted that and said hey, we settled. I apologize for saying that. I no longer believe that. And they reached out to articles that were publishing that, and all of those articles rescinded it and retracted those comments, because that's generally the requirement. If you're a news journal, or you produce anything that might be considered news segments or whatever, you send a retraction demand, and then that company or that person or whatever will retract it, and then you're good to go, right? It's why the New York Times can get things wrong and they don't get in legal trouble necessarily every single time. That's why they can put in corrections, and as long as the correction is timely and that there is an attempt to correct the mistake, it's fine, mostly. What was I trying to say? Oh, yeah. So all of these articles that had said that his ex-partner said that Ryan Kavanaugh was running a Ponzi scheme, they ended up retracting those and rescinding those and saying we apologize. This is no longer true. We are now retracting these statements. Okay, great. And then, but Ethan was very insistent on ignoring those and saying, well, they did publish at one point that his ex-business partner did say it was a Ponzi scheme, but because that was he knew that was not he was presenting it in a way that felt malicious, or more specifically that he was presenting it with a reckless disregard for the truth. He ended up in a settlement that ended with Ethan Klein apologizing to Ryan Kavanaugh and saying, I actually am so sorry for everything I've said about Ryan Kavanaugh. He didn't deserve that. He didn't deserve any of that. He didn't deserve me being mean to him like that. He didn't deserve me coming after him. I am sorry. From the bottom of my heart, me and you were like this. Me and you were like this. All right? We're like this. We're dogs like that. And then it's really funny because Dan makes a joke and he's like, no, seriously, I can't make any disparaging comments. We can't. I'm just going to read the script and then we're going to move on. It was not a cute segment, let's say. So yeah, that is true. It is true that you cannot just knowingly repeat lies, but that's different from what Ian did. Ian did not knowingly repeat a lie. Ian had a statement on the screen and then explicitly said that he doesn't believe it. So
robbed a bank, and I know because I saw it. If you take that and put it on screen and it says, Ela says I robbed the bank. It's still, you're still rebroadcasting the accusation. And like, it's not any different. You're essentially putting it out yourself. That's, and that's the law. That's how the law works, actually, too, right?
I'll read the rest of the Kilotonics post. The situations aren't really comparable because iDubbbz wasn't rebroadcasting them as truth. He was making an obviously correct point about Ethan's selectivity with who he targets. But this is still yet another instance in Ethan Klein's long history of going after others for doing things that he has lamented being held responsible for in the past. Correct. I wanted to pull this up as well. Hold up. Let me close this. Like, I feel like most people who saw that that iDubbbz segment, it was just like, it's just sad and pathetic that like Ethan spends all this time going after people and saying, you're personally trying to harm my family. And then the guy who's like literally saying that you're like the guy who was originating this claim, you're just like, well, he doesn't really like mean it, I know he said that he means it, like he really means it like multiple times, but like he didn't like, he doesn't actually, I know what's in his heart. Like I know him. I'm like, he just wouldn't say something like that and mean it. iDubbbz, on the other hand, okay? And his fucking Arab wife, okay? It's like, it's also very disingenuous. He's making that argument from the US, but he had to sue iDubbbz in Canada because he would get laughed out of court the same way that he did in your case, which is really funny because like he literally could, I think he would actually have a pretty good case against Destiny, but he doesn't want to like, I don't know, shit where he eats or whatever. H3 fans, shit where he eats, huh? Another classic statement from Denims. She's clearly saying that the skulls are justified. How could she do this? It's just a manner of speaking. All right.
This is no longer online.
Just calm down, son. 1 second. Oh, and then this is another thing that like I don't understand why okay, so this is another reason why I think people were critical of Moist Critical, because it's like the rules of engagement changed when they came after my kids or whatever, but he was filing he was filing like cease and desist and like DMCA claims before that, like months before that. CBS timeline, I don't know what this is, calls out H3 for lying when saying the rules changed after the CPS call. Ethan filed 5 false DMCA claims against the Snark subreddit and registered his content nuke with Library of Congress all before the CPS call. Like it has everything to do with the fact that Ethan just like doesn't, maybe I should just find the clip of him talking about how he doesn't like to be criticized.
This is no longer online. When CPS came to my house, it's not online anymore. This isn't like online, creator on creator, trying to say, hey, dude, you gotta watch what you say. This is real life shit that landed actual agents of the government at my door to interview my children against my will with the authority to take them from my home and put them in foster care. It's so much different than it was. The minute those people showed up, I went into work and I said, the rules are changing. And even after I said that, they took that as an invitation to
yeah, the rules are changing, and the rules now are I get to do whatever I want, whatever I want. The rules are there are no rules for me. I'm going to just engage in the most insane campaign of collective punishment against some fucking community because of a instance of harassment I can't attribute to any individual. Dude, that's the other thing. This is a lie.
Well, the other thing that's insane is like, okay, you want to go after the people that are going after your kids, then why not attempt to unmask the person who made the CPS call? If you believe it to be a fraudulent call that was made by a snarker, then pursue that legally. Like going for contributory copyright infringement means that you don't really care about any of these things that you're saying that you care about. You just care about going after the people that you don't like and then using any reason you can to go after them. Because if you cared about going after the snarkers for getting your family involved, you would attempt to unmask the person who made the CPS call. Because you can't make anonymous CPS calls in the state of California.
A lie. DMCAs were before CPS. He registered the nuke with the Library of Congress before CPS. The rules didn't change when CPS got called on you.
Like, didn't he literally say in his video that, like, he set up a trap? He set up an amazing, succulent trap. And that's why he registered those videos with the Library of Congress. But now he's saying, well, it's different because they got CPS involved. It's like, but you registered them before that. If you registered the videos with the Library of Congress before the CPS call, then how can it be about the CPS call? The CPS call didn't happen yet. What?
You're such a fucking liar. It was before you did the shit against copyright, before CPS was even called. You did 5 false DMCAs against the Snark subreddit before CPS was called. You registered your content nuke video with the Library of Congress, laying your self-admitted trap for other content creators before CPS was ever called. And then you targeted people who had no culpability in CPS being called. It's such a fucking lie, man. It's such a fucking lie.
I don't, like, what is the response? Well, he's never going to respond to anything that would actually, like, I don't know, hurt any of his arguments. But I would love to see a response to that, man. I would love to see a response to that. And then I want to show you guys this 1 second. I don't even know if I can find it, but let me try. Charlie kind of lame for not acknowledging any of this context. I mean, he just doesn't want to, like, listen. He just doesn't want to spend 30 hours learning about all of the intricacies and recognizing that, like, Ethan just lies about stuff. Like, unfortunately, I low-key, I believe him when he says he did 3 hours of research, but this is a topic that needs more than 3 hours of research. And I'm not joking. Like, 3 hours is, like, kind of the minimum. It's not even the minimum. It's not even. Like, the entire thing is just like a shitstorm, no pun intended. Let me pull up, wait 1 second. I'm trying to find it. Oh no. Sorry, this video just got recommended to me on YouTube. Wait, let me make sure that it's okay to share this. Okay, here it is. I just got this video recommended to me on YouTube. Dear Denims, your lawsuit response is awful. And this is from 9 months ago from Ethan.
Besides what's written here, the most interesting takeaways are these. Kind of as I touched on. One, they did the laziest, cheapest response, and they failed to tell their story. They had.
Which one is it? Is it that my lawyer is the cheapest lawyer, or that my lawyer is the most expensive lawyer, or what? I just don't see a reason that, like, we would be responding to, like, a photo of Hitler talking to the Grand Mufti. Like, what the hell?
A chance to respond, and they did not take it. The biggest thing to me is they had the opportunity to file a motion to dismiss. This is what you do when you believe you have a frivolous case. You're telling the judge, this is so frivolous that I'll just set the facts straight for you, and it's so obviously fair use that we don't need to waste anyone's time going any further than this. They did not file a motion to dismiss, which means the attorney looked at the facts and considered that they all have merit and that there was no way in hell a judge would grant a motion to dismiss. That is essentially a confession, a concession that the lawsuit is not frivolous. Because if it was, they would have filed motions to dismiss. That would have been a no-brainer. They didn't do it. The lawyer.
I like the no-brainer. You put an M in the brainer. No-brainer.
They would have filed motions to dismiss. That would have been a no-brainer. They didn't do it. The lawyer said, let's not even do that. Let's save money. You have no chance of winning. The other interesting thing about this is that they did not file any counterclaims. We were expecting them to try to file counterclaims, which means
they would include in their response some ridiculous trumped up defamation or something, just something to give them leverage against us, to be like, oh, so they have to deal with this. You want to negotiate? Well, we're going to drop our counterclaim now and you have to drop your lawsuit, this and that. They didn't even do that because here's the truth. Because either their lawyer is lazy, which might be, I don't know, or he was like, I don't.
It really is. Every accusation is like a projection, because bro really went on like a phenomenal spree of calling other people self-owned queen and kings, and here we are. And here we are now.
I don't see any legitimate cause. It would just be a waste of time. But the thing is, they both each raised $40,000. So they have $80,000 and the war coffers here. And this is the cheapest, laziest dog shit response you can imagine. Besides what's written here, the most interesting takeaways are these. Kind of as I touched on.
What are these fucking subtitles? The worst part is the comments are like, this aged like milk. Oh. Congrats to Dem's old H3 fan. Watched every episode until I realized Ethan wasn't going to change. I missed the old show. Love the cast they had. Anyone here after the decision? No brainer. Oh, 6 days ago. Any update on this? Oh no, dude, stop. These comments are anti-Semitic, man.